Hi there, Liam here from Hydro. So this is a video which is just going to go over some basic formation, positional kind of stuff for a tournament, say. This is a request from someone out in the community. So imagine that you are a player and you've turned up to a potluck tournament. You don't know anyone in the team that you can be playing with. No one knows anyone in the team they're going to be playing with. No one knows what formation they're playing. Everyone's from a different sort of background in their own clubs, and everyone's got to get together. How are you all going to get on the same page and play effectively as a team? So someone in the group puts their hand up and says, hey, so let's just run a really basic sort of vanilla default kind of setup for how we're going to organize ourselves. But this is quite we've all paid a fair whack of money to get to this tournament. So we want to get the most out of it. And yeah, let's organize ourselves like this. If I was the person to put my hand up and say, hey, let's do this, guys. So this is how I would do it. So here's our whiteboard. Imagine there's like feet all around here, and this is in the middle of the circle, whatever, and you're at the pool and you're sort of taking yourself to the side. Everyone's just been introduced to each other. So for this particular day, we're going to say a whole bunch of hands go up, and most people say, yeah, I played like 3-3, 2-3-1. So we go, okay, we'll play around a 3-3 type thing. So first thing we need to do is figure out our positions and our roles. So you look around the group, hands up forwards, hands up backs, okay, and we kind of go, okay, who's happy to play like a goalie, stopper, kind of fullback, okay, pick out someone who's happy to do that, pick out someone who's happy to play centre, who's got quite a distributive kind of skill set, maybe a good defender, but he's good at making passes, maybe doesn't have a lot of speed, it doesn't matter. And then you always have a couple of people who are like, yeah, I'm playing forward. And then your halfback types, halfback wingers, pick out those people who are going to play halves. Swap people around if you need to. Hey, we've got too many forwards. We need some people to play back. Okay, figure all that out. And in general, you want 3-3. So you're going to have forward, centre forward / centre, and then you're going to have back, goalie, stopper, fullback. So you basically want these guys here to have a lot of gas and be good attacking players. They do need to be defending as well, but just happy to play forward at the front. These guys to be good tacklers, obviously. This player here to be a good tackler, but also a good passer. This player to be really good at connecting. Lots of passing and tackling from this player here. That's pretty much it, real basics. And maybe this player can be a bit of a crazy swim up into the forward line as well. Do some attacking depending on their style. So who's playing where? That's what we just covered. Next up is your subbing setup. So you just need to figure out you're gonna have 6 out here. Goalies, centre. So these are your 6 on the back line, waiting to go out for a strike. And then who are you going to have here on the subs bench? Are you going to have one back who's subbing in through the 3 backs, and then you're going to have 3 forward subs, and they're just subbing 1 for 1 for the centre forward, 1 for the forward, 1 for the forward. So you have heaps and heaps of energy in the forward line and not so much in the back line. Maybe that depends on the setup of players that you just were talking about, that we were talking about earlier. Or you're going to have it straight up. You can have 2 back subs, 2 forward subs, and one of these guys or girls is happy to sub in with the goalie, and one of these guys or girls is happy to sub in with the centre. However you're going to do that. So figure out your subbing. Which I guess I gave a couple of examples from right there. So then strikes. So basically this is just to figure out, okay, well, how are we going to set up on the wall if someone's particularly anal about it. Sometimes you have a forward who's like, oh, I've got to be, if I'm striking, I have to be right in front of the puck. Okay, you do that. And once you come out here, you can have forward striking, and then how are you going to be arranged? Maybe with the forward on that side, centre forward over here, goalie, back, or the centre forward striking, and the other. But basically, you want to be symmetrical, so you're covering all avenues. So if you hit the puck and you get the puck, you've got support on both sides, and if you don't win the puck, then you've got defence on both sides and no big holes for the opposition to take advantage of. Next is channel play. So what are we going to look like when we're on the channel? Because a lot of teams are going to end up on the channel at some stage, on the channel or wall. You can say wall. So basically you're going to have your forward on the wall, you can have your back on the wall, you can have your centre here, and your goalie back here, and then your other forward and your back. And generally in a 3-3, often you've got the puck here, and both teams kind of sit around it. So you're going to have kind of like a bit of a line back out like here, through the back line like this, and the outside forward will basically be level with the puck, sliding up and back, level with the puck, depending on what's going on. And the centre is kind of blocking out the hole in the middle. If they're more defensive, then the centre will maybe sit back in the pocket a little bit further. And if you're feeling really aggressive, they might ride a little bit higher. And the goalie making sure that anything that comes down the wall like this, the goalie's able to hit. This player here, the outside back, is basically sliding up and down the outside. And in a 3-3, you can do it different ways, but this way, the way that I'm going to say we're going to do it in this imaginary tournament is basically this player is kind of sliding like that. So the forward is sliding like that. This player is sliding like this. So if the puck comes back through the back and past, so the goalie's a little bit higher. If it comes down here past the back and the goalie, then this player comes across, kills the attack, stops momentum, lets the rest of the team reset, and then jumps back out here. Okay. And as the puck goes up and down like this forward is just sliding. So as the pass comes out from the centre forward, they're right on it and they can attack. And if the opposition, because the opposition are like this, if the opposition try and swing it or switch it, then that forward can hit and stop that attack. Cool. Just really briefly, why would we go to the channel? Well, if the opposition have a big offensive push, and then you're basically scrambling and you only have a couple of players who are really in good positions, you might want to push the puck to the wall, because when you have the puck on the wall, on the channel, the opposition has less options to attack you with, and then it's easier to defend against less options. That's it. So when you're on defense, when you're really scrambling, maybe if you've got a person in the sin bin, you might want to play the puck on the wall or the channel to try and slow it down, limit options, make it easier for you to defend. Conversely, for the other team, when will they want to be playing the puck on the wall or the channel? Probably the same situation. Some teams, and it might be your team, might actually target the wall and the channel as, hey, this is where we're going to try and play the whole game. Maybe you're a team with low levels of fitness, and you look around, you see all the other teams as really fit. You might want to say, oh, we want to limit these options all the time, keep the game slow all the time to try and make sure that we have a good chance at being successful. But hopefully you've got some level of fitness and some kind of confidence that you can use space sometimes. And that means, why would we want to go wide? Well, you'd want to go wide when maybe the other team is trying to slow the puck on the wall or the channel. That means they've got lots of players on the wall or on the channel. And if they've got lots of players on the wall or the channel, that means they don't have any players wide, and you might have opportunity wide. So, yeah, roundabouts, I suppose. Okay, open play. So 3-3. So puck's here. Say we've got the centre on the puck. Then really basically you want the goalie right in behind them to support. And we're basically kind of playing zones. So any time the puck comes over here, it's the forwards. Anytime the forward has the puck, their back is going to go right up behind them and be supporting right behind them. So they go forward, back, and then you've got a centre forward and support next to them, and the goalie is going to be supporting inside on a diagonal like this, and then all of a sudden you're on the site, you're on the, you've got the setup that we just went over on the channel, and now you've got this sliding, that sliding. Puck moves onto the other side, then it all switches around, and suddenly now this back is going to come up to support, that one is going to drop back and start sliding, this forward's going to start sliding, and these guys are going to try and run a bit of a, put as much pressure as they can on their side, and they've got support on this side, they can pop little passes out, if they've got lots of opposition in front of them or around them, pop a little pass out, they can hit the other side, and now you've got space. And that again is that sort of dichotomy I just talked about before. So open play, very simple really. You do have some rotations going on, so you're going to have basically any time the puck goes past the back and hits the goalie, that back wants to come back behind the goalie again to rotate in behind. And sometimes, depending on the team, you might say that you want to have your forwards rotating behind your backs as well. Not this particular tournament, but sometimes people might say that or decide that. Corners. So really basic corner setup, because this is like, where are we in the pool? Puck can get stuck in the corners for ages in the pool. So say the puck is somewhere in here in the corner, you're going to have your back, you're going to have your goalie, you're going to have your other back out here, you're going to have your centre forward trying to take up the space right in the middle here, and then you're going to have your forward working the corner and your other forward out here trying to basically be on the end of passes and finish. So you've got kind of three approaches. You can either try and drive the corner once the puck is in the puck. The puck is in the corner, because this is our attacking corner, of course. Attacking. When the puck is there, if you think you can go down the back wall against the opposition, you can try and drive it. And that basically means the forward gets in and drive. What happens when the forward's got the puck? The back is always behind them supporting, so that back is in there as well. You got the centre forward supporting on the side, and then you're trying to sort of drive it to the forward who's going to finish it out here. This back out here is sliding, so as the puck comes around, they'll slide up. If the puck pops out, they can come up as well maybe. Or otherwise, if they're being a little bit more hesitant, they might stay back here, but if the puck pops out here, that they'll be in a good position to make sure you don't lose a lot of ground. So that's going through, and then you could actually try and pull the puck out. So you could actually have that forward pull the puck out to the back, out to the centre forward, and then sort of try and go around. If there's a big knot of defenders here, you can pull the puck out and around. And the third kind of option is you can basically pull back, and this would depend on the situation in the game, but you might just want to pull back and sort of say, you just kind of set out like here, and just leave the puck in there, and just let the opposition team bring it out, and just say, we're not going to drive anything. We're 2 goals up. We're going to let them bring it out, and when they get out to here, then you stop them and you try and work it towards the goal from there, that kind of thing. So that's attacking corner, very basically, some basic options there. Defending corner. And defending corner, the puck is somewhere down in here. Opposition are attacking down like this. So you've basically got your back in the corner, forward in the corner, goalie, back, centre forward taking that middle spot through the 45, and then a forward on the outside. And again, this forward is sliding up and back. So if the puck is sliding up, and if the puck comes all the way to here, that forward comes right back in case it pops out, and they can shoot off with it and help the defence. And this forward is probably waiting here for a pass up from the back or the goalie to try and drive the puck and sort of grind it up the wall, grind it up until you're safe enough to start bringing it off. And a lot of teams will say, hey, we're not going to bring the puck off the wall until we are X lanes out from our back wall to make it safe. Or not. You might say, hey, we're going to take the puck straight across our own goal. Bit riskier. And you can probably say, maybe this tournament will say, hey, let's have a rotation between the back and the goalie. So the back will go in, do defensive work. As soon as they pop up, the goalie will go in and do defensive work. That back will pop down and behind them and go into. You can have a rotation for all 3 of these backline players. But that can be quite confusing sometimes, because sometimes you end up with yeah, that can be a little bit confusing at times. So this tournament, let's just stay with these two. That means that this back just sits up and down, and if it gets to them, then they drive the puck out to safety. A little bit simpler. Everything else, if the puck comes out here, if the opposition try to swing it, that forward is sliding up, they're going to try and hit. If the puck comes through here, that forward's going to try and hit there and defend and get out to the outside. Alright, so that's corners. What now? What else do we have to worry about? This is a tournament. What could happen in this tournament? Advantage pucks. So, defensive advantage pucks. Defensive pucks. So basically going to say, okay, let's have a really, really basic setup. So you set up on the line. Here's the referee's line here. 3 meters from where the puck is. So we can set our forwards on that line. Make sure you look at and see both refs. So if that forward's sitting there, look to that ref and look to that ref, and set yourself on whichever one is further back. Because you can have this situation here. You can have a ref here and another ref there, setting slightly different lines. You might look over here, you're behind that ref. Sorry, other way around. You look over here, you're behind that ref, but this ref here is like, oh, it's in front of my line, breaking. So make sure you just see both of them and make sure you're behind the furthest back line. And refs, please try and be even, just to make it a bit easier for us. Behind the line, and then you basically got you just kind of got your zones. You got that side, you're the middle. As soon as the puck is touched, probably you're going to try and take some ground. You might assign one player. Let's say it's the right forward. Let's say, hey, right forward, you're always trying to hit the puck, bang. Or you might say, hey, it's the wall forward, which is always trying to hit the puck. And the other one's kind of wall forward, hit the puck. The other forward, come out here, speculative. Hopefully it's going to sort of knock down, and then you're going to swim off and score a goal. And the centre forward is just going to sort of drift forward for a half a metre or a metre, just getting out of this person's way. That's a defensive puck. That's pretty much the same everywhere across the pool. That might be the same right up in front of the opposition's bin, or it could be right in front of your bin, and your bin's just down here. Essentially the same rules apply. Just try and keep it as simple as possible, so you're not doing mental arithmetic. The more everyone knows what the game plan is, the better, and the simpler the game plan, the better, for that reason. So, attacking advantage pucks. So now we've got the puck here, and let's just go super simple. So we basically just say, chuck 2 forwards up, centre forward can take the puck, and then we've got a back to support, and a goalie is redundancy down the back. And that's pretty much it. So here's where the baddies are. And just really simple options. You can swim, throw the puck up, and drive behind it. So that would end up with 3 forwards driving, and then probably a couple of backs coming in and 1 sliding out. So if the wall is closer here, then this is the redundancy. Or you could try and hit one of these forwards and then sort of swim up afterwards. You might try and hit that wide forward and then swim after, and then this player would come up straight away. That player there would be the redundancy. Just really simple. Either go straight or try and hit a player. And if you want to, say if maybe this is the subs bench over here, subs, and you guys are really tired and there's a minute to go in the game, or a minute to go in the half or something, you might just want to go, okay, give it straight to the back, swims over to the subs bench, hold it there for 10 seconds, and everyone subs in, that kind of thing. But just real simple. Go straight, hit someone, and nothing more complicated than that. If you're on the opposition goal bin, you kind of might have something which might have a bit more of a name. You might do a bomb, which is like the simplest setup. So now you're going to say, because we're on the goal bin, we're just going to change one little thing. We're going to say the goalie takes the puck. Now we're going to put our forwards up there. That player up there ready to support close. This player is probably going to be the redundancy. So basically swim and then just try and get the puck in anywhere. anywhere you can see a little space, some opposition forwards will probably come in to pressure you, and you just try and slide the puck in, try and get it to one of these players, and then everyone drive. This player come in, that player, and then the redundancy. Or you might come out here, try and hit that player, straight away that back will come up because their forward's got the puck, and this player will come down and be the redundancy because they're on the other side from where the puck is. Okay. What else have we got to do? 5. What happens if someone goes in the sin bin? Oh, very important. Okay, someone goes in the sin bin. Basically, we're just going to say, okay, what are we going to do? Let's drop a forward. Let's just go super simple. Like this. Just drop a forward, one forward. And then we're only playing with one forward. Let's try and shut the game down a little bit. So basically, here's the wall. That means that instead of, the only difference is, let's try and keep it as simple as possible. Try and play the channel if we've got 5. So we've got someone in here. Try and play the channel. We're missing a forward. So just try and play possession and try not to let it kind of shoot out here. But forward is the one we drop. That means if a back gets sent into the sin bin, back gets sent into the sin bin, that means that straight away one of these forwards subs out and puts another back in. And now you have that forward out there and the back is there instead. Just keep it super simple. Drop a forward. Okay, and what do we do when we have a power play? Oh, okay, firstly, what if we go down to 4? So what if we've got 2 in here? Well, just don't fuss. Let's not fuss about anything to do with the subs bench. We're just going to have 4 players in here. They're going to be whoever they are, and just going to try and hold on to the puck. Hold on to the puck and kill time until we get a couple of these players or one of those players back in. So just possession and kill time. Super simple. Let's not have anything more complicated than that. And power play, the very last thing. So what do we do when we are 6 versus they have 5 or 4 or something? Well, let's basically try and avoid the players in there. So if they're trying to slow it down on the wall like this, because we know that they've got a couple players in the subs bench over there, in the sin bin over there, they're trying to slow it down, play for time, limit options. Let's try and get the puck out into the spaces where we score our goal and be aware of it. That's pretty much it. That would be my little... So in that little setup, we've basically covered the formation we're playing, where players are playing, what our subbing setup is, basic setup for strikes, basic setup for the channel, basic setup for open play, basic setup for corners, basic setup for advantage pucks, defending advantage pucks, what do we do when we're down a player or a couple of players, and what do we do when we have a player advantage. And from there, that's your starting point. You play the first game, things happen, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, and then your most crucial team talk after is really, firstly the first one to get everyone on the same page, but then the most important one is that first team talk after the first game, where actually you took that plan into live firing action, and you can kind of have a big chat about, okay, how did the subbing work? Did the subbing work? Do we need to change something? What do we need to change? Where were we getting stuck in the game? We were getting stuck in the corner. We were getting stuck on the channel. We were basically whatever. Okay, so I really hope that's helpful, especially for teams that maybe are new to tournaments or new to looking at the game in this kind of structural sort of level. And chuckle your comments down below. Again, this is just a vanilla version of a vanilla 3-3. Heaps of other ways to do it out there, which are all valid. But the most important thing is getting everyone on the same page, no matter what page that is, really. Okay, bye.